Good morning, everybody. Okay, do not mind the way that I look because I cannot shower. But my husband did wash my hair the other day, so it's fresher than it would be, but it is time to wash it again. Okay, so I don't really remember the last time that I updated. I think maybe it was when I was coming off of oxygen and we were looking at, it's been a while since I've updated you. Okay, so we've come off of oxygen. We're doing well off of oxygen. The next steps are basically to get the pain control under control, not through a PICC line and through my J instead, and also nausea control and everything like that. And so that is that goal, and then also trying to up my nutrition through my feeds because I'm not tolerating anything by mouth still. So that's going to take a while to get that back to where it's supposed to be. So that's all that. But then yesterday, my PICC line broke. So that's so unfortunate. It just suddenly started leaking and then started to hurt. So clearly something is wrong with it. And so they had to place a temporary IV. But I'm such a hard stick that she left a blueberry, I don't know if you can see it anymore, but literally it was as if someone had placed a raspberry on the back of my hand. It was that big of a lump from digging around yesterday, looking for a vein. So it took 3 people to find a vein yesterday. And then, yeah, basically we are choosing to place a Hickman line instead of a PICC line because my PICC axis lines are awful. If you remember back in July when they were trying to place the PICC, it took them 3 tries and they almost didn't even get that in. And so I don't want to have to go through that again where we try to place a PICC and are unsuccessful. I'd rather just go ahead with a Hickman. So basically that will go in my chest area, and it's a line straight to my heart from my chest. So I'm supposed to get that done today. So I'm currently NPO, which there wasn't really anything oral anyways, but that also means nothing through tube. So that is that. We've also canceled our flights that we had booked to leave because we're not anticipating to be discharged soon enough to make that flight. And also it was a bit too ambitious because it was all of the flights in one day. So we're looking to change that into 2 days of flights instead of 1 day. That way we can stay overnight somewhere and allow my body to rest and give my body fluids in between and hopefully make it home in one piece and stay out of the hospital after. So yeah, we will see. I will update you when I'm going down for surgery. Good morning. Actually, it's afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Friday, February 6th. As you can see, I got my Hickman placed yesterday and got my PICC removed. So yesterday, kind of evening is when they took me back. It was a very fast procedure, 15 minutes. Sorry, my lips are sticking, but my water is too far away. Yeah, so had that placed. Definitely felt I got stabbed, and then it felt a bunch of bees came to sting me too. So the night was I was pretty stiff overnight, but honestly doing pretty good now. This morning, one of the doctors came and removed the stitches out of my J, so that is great. I'm now stitch free, which feels nice, and I can actually clean it properly. And then I had a little visit from the therapy dog, which honestly, it made me cry because it just made me miss my dog so much. Even though I FaceTime her every day. It's not the same as getting to be with your dog. So yeah, I got a little visit, which I will put a clip in here. His name was Murphy, and he was very sweet. And then something that I've absolutely loved about being inpatient here is every single day, except for on weekends, the osteopaths come around and they just kind of work on you, like wherever you're feeling sore or stiff or wherever. So it was actually perfect. Like I was honestly thinking about them in the middle of the night when my neck hurt and my back hurt from like having the Hickman placed. I was like, I cannot wait until they come and they work on me. So he just barely left, and yeah. So the goal right now, I'm still not taking in enough like of my tube feeds to get enough like caloric intake. So there are gonna have to be some things in the works when I am discharged. So I'll have to talk about that plan later, but the goal is to try and up my rate as I tolerate it. And then we're hoping and we're aiming for discharge on Monday. So I'm really hoping that we can get discharged on Monday, because we're really hoping that we can start our journey home on Thursday. We're gonna be smart this time, and we are going to split it up between 2 days instead of doing it all in one. We also found flights where it was, instead of like multiple stops, it's like on the one day we fly from here to the next place, stay overnight, and then from that place we fly home. So instead of like a bunch of like layovers, we just have like one really long one that just so happens to be overnight. So that is the goal right now. So yeah, hopefully we make it home and I can be with my pets again. And I just hope that my body adjusts. Like, this recovery has been a lot more difficult than I anticipated, and I just hope that my body will continue to strengthen and just adjust to the way that it has been rearranged. So yeah, Matt has gone back to the hotel for a little bit, and I'm here, so I'm probably gonna take a nap. Okay, so it's later. Matt and I were in the middle of watching Ice Age when the power went out, and we were just told that there's a chance that the power won't come back on until Monday. Thankfully, like, hospitals run on generators, but that still only runs certain things. So like certain plugins, like red plugins, are the ones that work. So we have everything hooked up that we need to, like my pumps and stuff, and we managed to rig up something for my heating pad and stuff as well, but that means no TV, no lights, things like that. So it could be a very dark weekend. We're getting out of here!
It's about time!
Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Tuesday, February 10th, and Matt and I just went to Target this morning, and I managed to get my hands on the gluten-free golden Oreos. I have been craving these for years, but we don't have them in Canada, so I decided to pick these up, and I'm going to try a bite. I'm still not at a point where I can just like eat things freely, but we also got some Ollipops, and so I had one sip of the Ollipop, and now I'm gonna try one bite of the golden Oreos. Oh, they smell like Dunkaroos. Smell this.
Oh, they do. They do smell like
Dunkaroos are my childhood. If this tastes like a Dunkaroo, then I'm like need to go to another Target and buy another.
And you're taking one from the middle?
That's always what you do in a fresh package.
I married a psychopath.
No. Okay, ready? That was too big.
I'll try the other little bite. That's gonna be probably too much for you.
They're not as good. That's disappointing. They smell better than they taste.
I think they taste great. They're not quite like the actual golden
They don't
Oreos
taste
though.
like the golden Oreos. like the actual way that I remember them. So I think the regular Oreos are better.
They kind of taste like those, not Chips Ahoy, but like those vanilla cookies.
I guess.
Yeah.
That was disappointing. Oh well. Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, February 12th, and we are up early to get ready to head to the airport for our first flight. So we've broken it down way more than when we originally came. So originally we were supposed to fly back home on Monday, but I was still in the hospital on Monday. I only got discharged on Monday. So we canceled that flight and we rebooked. So because the travel was so hard on me on the way here, we had 3 flights, 2 really long layovers. That was really hard on my body. So we have broken it down. So yesterday we drove from the city that we were in to the city where the airport is, which was almost an hour. And I'm really glad that we did that yesterday because the area that we're in is very hilly. And so I felt very nauseous after that drive. So it was good that we had done that drive yesterday, and so we broke that down. And then today we are flying to Chicago, and then we will be staying the night in Chicago, and then tomorrow we will fly home, which I think is a much better plan than what we had originally planned, which is perfect. So I'm gonna get dressed. I just finished drawing up all of my meds, putting them in the syringes and stuff, so that those are ready to go. Because it's so early, the issue with having to get up early to get to the airport is that I can't take my POTS meds first thing, because then my POTS meds are out of my system before we fly. So I have to take them while we're at the airport before we fly, because my POTS is more reactive in the air than it is on the ground, which makes sense. So even though I'm probably going to be more reactive going through the airport and stuff like that, it's better that way than have my POTS meds be out of my system and trying to get them in my system before another flight. So that is the plan. I'm gonna go get dressed. Well, I messed up already. So I had left my personal bag by the bed and didn't grab it on my way out because I had grabbed my wheelchair and forgot to grab my actual personal item. So now Matt has to go all the way back to the hotel to get my bag. I feel so bad. But thankfully the shuttle guy is very understanding and kind, so he's taken him back to get my bag. And I'm waiting here with our luggage. Okay, we made it to our hotel. I'm crashing. My POTS is potsing. So Matt is currently getting ready to hook me up to fluids. I've got my Hickman line out. I'm ready to be hooked up. And Nurse Matt is
Nurse Matt.
I love having my own personal nurse. It's the best. Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, February 12th, and I've got bad news. So, Matt and I were rudely awakened in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. I was covered in formula. the style of my tube doesn't allow for the tube to come unscrewed. And so my tube is broken. There is a literal split down the side of my tube. A couple days ago, it started like when I tried to like unhook my tube and like untwist it, it would just twist in, like it would move the actual plastic piece inside of my tube. And I didn't really think anything of it, but now there's a split in the side of my tube and it's broken. And that is really, really bad because it's my only form of nutrition. And so now again, I am having to go without nutrition. And it's also the only way that I can put my meds through, like into my body, because I can't take them orally. So we currently have it like taped super tight to like hold the split in place. That way I can still push meds through. But we're possibly looking at like literally landing like in our home province and going straight to an ER because we have no other options. But I'm planning to text my doctor, see what she knows or thinks, and hopefully she has some guidance for us, because where we live, we're from like a very small rural area and I don't know if they carry feeding tubes. And so I don't want to have to go to the city hospital because that's like a 12-hour wait, and I don't want to wait 12 hours right after flying because my body can't do that. And so I'm just feeling very frustrated because this tube is only like, I've only had it for like less than 25 days. So it's a little baby stoma. I'm just frustrated that things keep going wrong. But we're getting ready to head to the airport. Our flight's at 9:15 and we'll land back home around noon. So we'll get this figured out. Good evening, everybody. So as you can see, we are home. I'm sorry I did a terrible job of updating. Basically, we got home and I was just so tired that I just crashed for like a week. It's literally like a week. We've been home for a week. So first thing, I left you on a bit of a cliffhanger because I was like, my tube broke. We're probably gonna have to go to an ER when we land, and we did not. So my husband is a very smart man, and so he went and he picked up some supplies and was able to fix my tube enough that it will last until I get my tube changed. I already have a tube change booked from early March, so I knew that this would be good enough until then, because I did not want to go to the city ER. I've never been to a city ER and I don't want to because I've heard so many horror stories. And my normal ER, like, they wouldn't be equipped for doing this tube change. They wouldn't have the supplies needed. They don't have an IR team, and so it just wasn't a good circumstance. And so we were able to fix it enough that it's working, and we did not have to go to an ER. Praise the Lord for that. So that's that. Otherwise, I inserted a little clip of Matt and I doing some Lego as our Valentine's Day date. That was very fun. Otherwise, I have just been lounging around, taking a ton of naps. I've been so exhausted because the travel, even though it was better coming home because we spaced it out so much, it still was hard on my body. And so I've been doing a lot of sleeping, lying around and reading. Momo's right here making biscuits, if you can hear him purring. So that is what I've been doing. Otherwise, I have had a follow-up with my family doctor back home here, and so I've gotten to update her on the surgery and everything like that. We are currently working on trying to get at-home IV fluids, which is a bit of a nightmare where I'm from because it's not really a thing, and so it's really hard to get. So I'm kind of stuck with my twice weekly fluids until I can be approved for at-home fluids through the city. So basically the home nutrition program where I get my feeding tube formula, they do also provide like IV hydration stuff as well, but I have to be approved for that, and it can take a long time. And I've been working on this since like November, something like that, and it's just been long to try and figure out because there was this whole situation with me having a PIC and they didn't really do PICs, but now I have a Hickman, and so now they will probably approve me, which is good. So things are being worked out there. Today I had IV fluids, and that was a bit of a process because, like I told you, like my hospital is a tiny little like hospital, and so they don't have any experience with Hickmans. So I'm their only Hickman patient. And so because this was placed in the US, they had to basically get me to have an x-ray done, and then had to be read by the ER doctor, and had to be like approved to make sure that my nurse could access it and everything like that. So I waited like an extra hour today to do all of that. But thankfully everything has worked out. So they were able to access my Hickman today, and my nurse already loves it so much more than my PIC, which is great. But yeah, that's kind of been life since coming home. I will do a more long form video of how I'm doing, what my thoughts were on the surgery, things I expected, things I didn't expect. I will do that for next week, but I'm going to close up this video here. Don't forget to give this video a like, and if you'd like to continue to follow my journey, I would love to have you, and you can do that by subscribing down below. Don't forget that I post every Thursday, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!